Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says our thoughts are still ignorant. Our aspiration is still imperfect, it must be purified. Our action is still powerless, it must become effective. With always our love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 6, The Book of Fate, Canto 1, The Word of Fate, page 432. But Savitri answered from her violent heart. Her voice was calm, her face was fixed like steel. Once my heart chose and chooses not again. The word I have spoken can never be erased. It is written in the record book of God. The truth once uttered from the earth's air effaced, by mind forgotten, sounds immortally forever in the memory of time. Once the dice fall, thrown by the hand of fate, in an eternal moment of the gods, my heart has sealed its troth to Satyavan. Its signature adverse fate cannot efface. Its seal not fate, nor death, nor time dissolve. Those who shall part, who have grown one being within, death's grip can break our bodies, not our souls. If death take him, I too know how to die. Let fate do with me what she will or can. I am stronger than death and greater than my fate. My love shall outlast the world. Doom falls from me, helpless against my immortality. Fate's law may change, but not my spirit's will. An adamant will, she cast her speech like bronze. But in the queen's mind, listening her words, rang like the voice of a self-chosen doom, denying every issue of escape. To her own despair, answer the mother made, as one she cried, who in her heavy heart labors amid the sobbing of her hopes, to wake a note of help from sadder strings. O child, in the magnificence of thy soul, dwelling on the border of a greater world, and dazzled by thy superhuman thoughts, thou lendest eternity to a mortal hope. Here on this mutable and ignorant earth, who is the lover and who is the friend? All passes here, nothing remains the same. Words of our Divine Mother, taken from the collective works of our Divine Mother, Volume 2, topic Difficulties, Part 4, Difficulties, page 225. Face and overcome difficulties is a subtopic. Our Divine Mother says, be grateful for all ordeals. They are the shortest way to the divine. The joy one experiences in living for an ordeal is a sure compensation for all the difficulties of the path. Have faith in your destiny, and your road will be lit. A Divine Mother says, for each one and for the whole world, anything becomes useful if it helps to find the divine. The grace and protection are always with you. When in an inner or outer difficulty or trouble, do not allow it to oppress you. Take refuge with the divine force that protects. If you do that, says our Divine Mother, always, if you do that with faith and sincerity, you will find something opening in you which will always remain calm and peaceful in spite of all superficial disturbances. Our Divine Mother says, those who are sincere, I can help and turn easily towards the divine. But when there is insincerity, I can do very little. And as I told you already, we have only to be patient and wait for things to become better. But surely I do not see why you should get disturbed and in what way your disturbance would help things to be better. You know by experience that there is only one way of getting out of confusion and obscurity. It is to remain very quiet and peaceful, firm in equanimity, and to let the storm pass away. Rise above these petty quarrels and difficulties and wake up once more in the light and power of my love, which never leaves you. All unpleasantness should be faced with the spirit of samatha. It is good to turn a difficulty into an occasion for a new progress. Our Divine Mother says, surely you cannot believe that sadhana could be done without facing some difficulties. As your aspiration is sincere, whatever was in the subconscious standing in the way of the divine realization has come to the surface in order to be transformed. There is nothing there to make you sad or depressed. On the contrary, you ought to rejoice at these occasions to make progress and never forget to lean for support and help on my love, force, and blessings. Our Divine Mother says, if you keep your faith unshaken and your heart always open to me, if you keep your faith unshaken and your heart always open to me, then all difficulties, however great, will contribute to the greater perfection of your being. Our Divine Mother says, try to withdraw from your outward circumstances, which alone can be upset by such things, and find the peace inside which remains always untouched. Our Divine Mother says, always, when one faces difficulties and overcomes them, it begins a new spiritual opening and victory. When you want to make a progress, the difficulty you wish to conquer increases tenfold in importance and intensity in your consciousness. You have only to persevere. That is all. It will pass away. Question, sweet mother. In spite of all difficulties, I go on with the belief that if I hold on, the difficult times will go. If I accept defeat, then I shall go. For this, our Divine Mother says, this is the right attitude. Stick to it and you shall conquer. Sadhana is always difficult and everybody has conflicting elements in his nature, and it is difficult to make the vital give up its ingrained habits. That is no reason for giving up the sadhana. One has to keep the central aspiration, which is always sincere, and go on steadily in spite of temporary failures. It is then inevitable that the change will come. What do obstacles matter? We shall always go forward. That doesn't matter. The difficulties are there for the pleasure of surmounting them. Go forward. Keep confident. All will be well. Our Divine Mother says, I have always the same thing to say. Quiet confidence and courage is the only way of getting out of difficulties. Perfect mental balance, indispensable for facing the difficulties of life. To conquer the difficulties, there is more power in a smile than in a sigh. Audience are there for everybody. It is the way in which one faces them that makes the difference. Some have a smile, some make a fuss. Whenever things become difficult, we must remain quiet and silent. Whatever is the difficulty, Whatever is the difficulty, if we keep truly quiet, the solution will come. The errors can be stepping stones, the blind gropings can be changed into conquests. A Divine Mother says to keep steady one's aspiration and to look at oneself with an absolute sincerity are the sure means to overcome all obstacles. All difficulties are there to test the endurance of the faith. Look life in the face from the soul's inner strength. Look life in the face from the soul's inner strength and become master of circumstances. Question, sweet mother. May the Divine Mother give me the necessary force so that the following prayer of mine may become effective. As a son of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, my greatest interest is in truth. Let not the mountain of pride hidden in nature distort in any way the moments of this truth. The glorious sun, lift me from smallness. Lift me above smallness. For this, our Divine Mother says, do not let the view of the part hide the perception of the whole, and the details of one step obstruct the concentration of the goal. Question, sweet mother. I would like to pray to the mother to kindly explain to me the meaning of the dramatizing of everything by vital nature. For this, our Divine Mother says, what I mean is that life is full of difficulties, hardships, and sufferings. This is a common fact, and each one has to face his own lot of them. The only way to face them properly is to endure and put one's interest, hope, and faith in the inner life and consciousness, turn towards the divine, aspiring for the divine, and capable of receiving the divine's force and help. But often the vital being or some part of it takes a kind of perverse pleasure in giving a dramatic importance to each and every difficulty and thus cuts the contact with the inner being and the divine's force. This bad habit, which is common to many people, must be stopped, and then each one can and will feel that he receives very concretely the help he needs to go through the ordeals of life. Our Divine Mother says our ordeals never exceed our capacity of resistance. The difficulties are for the strong and help them to make them stronger. Persevere and you will conquer. You can be sure that my help, force, and blessings, you can be sure that my help, force, and blessings are always with you. The only way, our Divine Mother says, the only way out of your difficulty is to find the psychic being and to live entirely in its consciousness. Life upon earth as it is now is full of miseries, and any sensitive heart is full of sorrow because of that. To get in contact with the divine consciousness and to live in its mercy, its strength, and its light is the only true effective way to get out of this difficulty and suffering. And by uniting with the psychic, we can obtain this condition. My help and blessings are always with you for this purpose.
स्वस्ति ॐ मध्ये सुधावधिमणिमण्डपरत्नवेदी सिंहासनोपरि गदां परिपीतवरणां पीताम्बरां कनकमाल्यविभूषिताङ्गी देवीं स्मरामि हृतमुदगर्वैर्जिह्वाम् ॐ ह्रीं चण्डिके देवी ॐ ह्रीं चण्डिके देवी या गच्छ यतिष्ठ सन्निधे सन्निनुध्यस्व सन्निधा भव तत्राधिष्ठानं कुरु मम पूजा गृहाण प्रसीद भगवत्यम्ब प्रसीद भक्तवत्सले प्रसादं कुरु मे देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते प्रसीद भगवत्यम्ब प्रसीद भक्तवत्सले प्रसादं कुरु मे देवी दुर्गे देवी नमोस्तुते शरणं 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 वीरा शरणं वीरा मम शरणम्
Prayers and Meditations, March 17, 1914. When physical conditions are a little difficult and some discomfort follows, if one knows how to surrender completely before Thy will, caring little for life or death, health or illness, the integral being enters immediately into harmony with Thy law of love and life, and all physical indisposition ceases, giving place to a calm well-being, deep and peaceful. I have noticed that when one enters into an activity that necessitates greater physical endurance, what tires one most is anticipating beforehand all the difficulties to which one will be exposed. It is much wiser to see at every moment only the difficulty of the present instant. In this way, the effort becomes much easier, for it always proportionate to the amount of strength, the resistance at one's disposal. The body is a marvelous tool. It is our mind that does not know how to use it. And instead of fostering its suppleness, its plasticity, it brings a certain fixity into it which comes from preconceived ideas and unfavorable suggestions. But the supreme sacrifice, O Lord, is to unite with Thee, to trust in Thee, to live in Thee, to be Thyself. And then nothing is any longer impossible to a man who manifests Thy omnipotence. Lord, my aspiration rises to Thee like a silent canticle, a mute adoration, and Thy divine love illumines my heart. O Divine Master, I bow to Thee.